Because we've enabled the multi-currency, well, a new settings tab is now showing in here. So I'm gonna go into multi-currency and see which options we get out of the box. First of all, the default enabled currency is the one defined under general. Okay, so if you go to general, you should be seeing exactly the default store currency. So that's the one that you're seeing in this multi-currency enabled currency section. Now you can add or remove currency. So I can click on the button, and of course, because my audience will be mostly euros or dollars, I'm going to search for USDs, tick the box and update. Now this will add a second currency to my checkout, where they can either pay with euros or USDs. As you can see, the conversion rate is today's conversion rate, but you can also manage this. So you click on manage, and as you can see, by default, this will fetch the exchange rates automatically. Or you can define a manual exchange rate. I mean, this is if you want to avoid, price variations day in, day out. So I'm gonna go and click on manual, and as you can see, by default, this is today's rate. Let's say that after, currency conversion fees and stuff like that, I want to make a small margin out of the today's rate. So instead of 116, I'm gonna enter 1.2. Okay. You can also define some formatting rules. So you want to round the price to the next, 25 cents or 50 cents, or the recommended one, $1.00 basically. So you will make your USD prices consistent by rounding them up after they're converted. They also give you a chance to select your charm pricing. So you can reduce the converted price by a specific amount. If you're doing, for example, I want to round it to $10 and then discount it by 5 cents, so it's 9.95 or 9.99 in case of a 001 discount. So you can do quite complex things. The cool thing is that in here you have a preview. So let's say my micro sponsor is €500, then because I've chosen the 1.2 manual rate, the US dollar amount will be 600. So this is a very cool thing to have, and I'm going to save changes. All good so far. So we've set the currencies. Now I'm going to get back to the main multi-currency settings. I have my euro, my US dollar, which is converted at 1.20, and I can also enable customers to automatically switch to their local currency if it is enabled, which means that, if it's a customer from the United States, it will auto switch to US dollars. So I'm going to save changes, and the multi-currency is now done. The problem is that what I'm missing now is a currency switcher on the website. So by looking at the documentation, I have a currency switching section, which I'm going to check in here. So if you like to switch from one currency to the other on the front end, you will need to use the block in case you're using Gutenberg, or the widget. To add the block, there is an actual currency switcher block. To add the widget, there is an actual currency switcher widget. So you can display currency symbols, you can display flags in supported device. So what I want to do now is actually going onto my website. We have 5 products. As you can see, they're priced in euros, and now I need to find a way to switch from euros to USDs and give people a nice currency switch. So because I'm not using blocks, what I can do is I go on to appearance and widgets, and let's see where I can place my currency switching widget. So I think the best place for now could be the top bar right. So I'm going to find the currency switcher and drop it in here. And I'm not going to give it a title. I can display the currency symbols, and I don't want to display flags. So let's see if this is done. And if I go back to my website and refresh, how this would look like. So here you go. I've refreshed the website, and now in the top bar I can see my currency switcher. Maybe you don't need a bit of extra padding on top and at the bottom, but it's kind of working. So we can see prices are €99, €450, €150. If I switch to USDs, I should get an immediate conversion. So I hasn't even reloaded the page, where I can see the equivalent in dollars by using my conversion rate, which is 1.2. And of course, then people can go to the product and can check out in dollars. Let me actually test this with the test product, because I don't want to mess once again with stock and orders. So my test for WooPayments, let's preview it. As you can see, it was $9.99 and now it's $12 because of my conversions. USD is kept in here, so I can add to cart. I can go to checkout and I have my information here filled out already. I have my $12 and I can pay with card. Paste my expiration date, December 35, 456. And I can place the order. And now let's see what happens in regard to the order, in regard to the transactions, and in regard to the payouts. So the order 276 has been placed, 12 USDs. Let's go to the backend, WooCommerce orders, and I should see, perfect, that the total in this case is $12 USD. So if I expand the order in the, oh, there you go, fee details, that's very interesting. So it tells me that there is a base fee plus also a currency conversion fee of 2%. So the net payout is going to be €9.69. If you go to payments and transactions, you should see your two transactions, the one that we did in the previous video for €9.59 and the one that we did now, which has been exchanged into euros, and in fact it's been converted from 12 USDs, and now I will actually have a net payment in euros. So this was an overall way to show you that the currency conversion actually works, that it's quite easy to set it up and also quite easy to implement it in the front end.